Today we're talking about how LNC became the family business in my world. And hopefully I can shed some light. And it's not that I started out thinking it was a family business at all. It was kind of like selfishly my dream. This will get Stephanie out. And that couldn't be anything further from the truth, because soon after I went full-time as a legal nurse, realized that everything I had experienced as a nurse affected my family anyways. If I was tired, overworked, switched from night shift to day shift, it didn't matter, right? Had kids, all of that affected my family anyways. We think it's more of a selfish dream of our own, right? We don't want to risk our family. I think it was just my way out of burnout, right? I was burnt out. I was feeling numb. It's kind of the journey of LNC in the beginning for me. I remember wanting time. I wanted control. I wanted to be present. It wasn't selfish. To look now and realize that wasn't selfish at all. It was truly just me trying to survive and survive in this world that I had created for myself. But then I also felt guilty for leaving or trying to do something different. My first yes was me waking up at 3:30 in the morning. You know that feeling, right? You wake up 3:30 in the morning. It's 2 hours before you have to get up for your shift. You know you're not gonna be able to go back to sleep, and all you can think about is, do I really have to go back to it? Do I have to do that again? Is this what I've signed up for? This can't be everything. It was more of a whisper. It was the thought, you're doing good things for your family. You're making good income. Suck it up, Stephanie, right? It's not that bad. Like, you make good money. People have it worse. I started blaming and shaming myself for not appreciating what I had, but it wasn't that I didn't appreciate what I had. I just knew that I wanted something different. My mom's voice is what popped in my head at one point. And I was like, you know what? My mom would say, as we grow, we change. So you're allowed to change. Your opinion is allowed to change. Your desires are allowed to change. I would be neglecting them too, because, I thought I was being selfish by not taking the LNC venture. I was causing suffering for the family who had to deal with the Stephanie who got home from the shifts when she was miserable, or felt like I needed to have a glass of wine to numb the loss of the patient that I'd been taking care of that shouldn't have died. And I think now, reflecting back, it was selfish of me. I didn't realize when I chose me at that time, I was choosing them too. I was choosing a better life for them. I was choosing more freedom for my family. I was choosing the peaceful times and the control and the being present. It wasn't just about Stephanie being a better nurse. It was about me being a better wife and a better mom all at the same time, right? And that ripples. My husband is not an LNC. He's not in medicine. He's not in healthcare at all. But he became the MVP for my legal nursing business. But he trusted what I did. He trusted, and he was like, you know what, honey, you're not happy where you are. We all know that. So if you think this is gonna make you happy, I'm there for you. And I don't think either of us knew what that was, honestly, in the beginning, right? We didn't know what. As we grew into LNC, he became the stability when everything else felt unstable. And when I needed to tag team him, when I would take a late call or had to stay up late and work on a case, he'd get up with my kids in the morning. There was 6 weeks I didn't get a case at all. And he was the person who was cheering me on, saying, you know what to do, go do it. You know exactly what to do, go do it. You've already gotten cases. What do you need to do? So he became my cheerleader. He was just the person who was like, you got this. We stopped arguing about money, and we started planning our days and our lives more together. So it was a joint effort to make it work. Every home has to have someone who's willing to believe in what the other person is building. And he believed. Because if they just trust and know that we will figure it out, that together we're trying to change the lifestyle for all of us, then it becomes a joint effort. Then it becomes the family business. I think without realizing it, we created a culture in our family where everyone supported the business. I started sharing my small wins with my husband. I would say to the table, Tatum, and everyone knows this, we share our wins at the dinner table. We still do it. So my little boy was 2 at the time, and I'd be like, guess what? Mommy got a new client. He would be like, win, 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 because that's what we told him to say. And it's fun and it's enjoyable, even the smallest things. When I finally set up my LLC, when I finally branded myself as Selna Consulting, when I finally got my website finished in like 2020 or something crazy, it was the family seeing the accomplishments of all the sacrifices everyone was making. And so if I could give you guys a piece of advice, make the culture in your family about the business. And it doesn't mean everyone has to think that that's the priority. It doesn't mean that everyone has to make that their priority. But my husband's priority was to support me. so that I could be successful. And I couldn't have done or built the multiple millions of dollars inside of my LNC company that I did without him doing what he did. So here's an example. Every client that I signed that I hit 10 cases on, we would go out to dinner. It was like something that my husband, it was just another celebration. I'd be like, we hit 10 cases, because I knew if I could get 10, I could get 6 figures out of that client. Eventually I would hit 6 figures, and I was like, it's time to celebrate. So we would make that an excuse to go have dinner. Even though we were using the money to pay off bills and pay for daycare and all the other things, it was still a reason to celebrate. So we made it a rich to flagstone certain celebrations and make them wins for the entire family. Because it wasn't just about my sacrifice. It wasn't just about some of the evenings or getting up early in the morning. It was also about my husband's. And it was also about the babysitter who was staying late sometimes because I had to talk to an attorney. I had to get on a Zoom call because I didn't want to miss that time frame. So I think it's really creating that culture in your family, in your household. They didn't need to be on payroll. My husband didn't need to receive a check to feel appreciated, because we celebrated the wins together. And that's the mindset shift, I think, that is absolutely paramount, is your business is not separate from your family. It's for your family. When you frame it that way, they're going to root for you. They knew that if mommy closed her door, mommy was working, and it was okay. And it wasn't just to shut them out. It was just that if my husband and my kids knew to respect my time, mommy would get done faster. And when mommy's bell went off, mommy would come out of her office and go have mommy and wife time. So I do think there is a balance, and it's just in healthy boundaries. I stopped trying to do everything all at once, and I started separating my focus. Like I said, I would do an hour and a half here, or after the kids went to bed, or I like to wake up early now with my kids. If they would knock on the door and wouldn't leave me alone, I knew it just meant that they needed some mommy time. So I would set an alarm for 25 minutes. Get this, just 25 minutes, and I would go play with them. And then eventually, even before the timer was up, my children would be off doing something on their own, right? And they had had enough of mommy. Most of the time, they really only wanted me for 10 minutes. So if I disappeared, it wasn't like people are looking for mommy. The boys would literally come put their face on the glass of my office door, and they would be like, mommy, and I would be like, 10 minutes. So the world of it's your business dissipated. It became the family business. And we shifted the way we did life a little bit because we wanted to, because we knew this was how we could make this work. And then we shifted again when I left the bedside completely. When I quit my director job and completely left, we shifted again. And my kids still know we have boundaries. Mommy's going. My 5-year-old son just said to me, what happens if my movie ends and you're not out here? I said, come get me. Mommy should be done working. Mommy shouldn't be sitting there anymore. So we have this culture in my family where we hold each other accountable. Because that's the whole point of building this life, right? Is so that we have the flexibility and we can be with our families more. And does it take a little bit of shifting and sacrifice in the beginning? It does. But are you willing to sacrifice a little bit of time to be completely present with your children and your spouse, so that you're not sitting there half zoned out, half numb because somebody died and you can't tell your spouse about it because you don't want to burden them with that, but you're still trying to numb the pain and you're not really fully there? That's worse than me setting a 25-minute timer and everyone knowing and understanding mommy's working, daddy's cooking. Here's where we play. When the timer goes off, everyone comes together. We still do it. My husband will pop his head in the door and say, babe, how long do you need? And I'll tell him, set a 30-minute timer. Like every time you do something for the business, it becomes the family's win, not just yours. And I think here's the other thing, right? That most of us sit there and wonder, but what if it doesn't work? What if I don't get a case? I don't think the fear is, what if I don't get a case? I think the fear is, what if I do? What if this works? What if it changes my world? We love to always default to what if it fails, but what if you lean into the thing that changes everything, which is, what if this works? I don't know what to do next. And if you said, that's okay, we'll figure it out together, then what happens? You don't feel lonely. You don't feel like it's your job to figure it out. Paddling a boat with 5 other people versus paddling a boat by yourself and someone else steering. Very different vibe. Make it a culture where you're doing it together, where the kids are helping. My children are old enough now. They do get paid. They are on payroll. They are my social media promoters. They shred paper. And now we have 5 businesses. So the long-term impact that you have is for the family. It's not against it. It's not just it's for the entire family. And I thought eventually every attorney will become 6 figures, but I wonder if I can do 6 with one of them in a year. It just gave me new insight to look at things differently. And when I looked at something differently, I allowed myself to see a different opportunity. I mean, there's probably a lot of you here sitting there thinking, I don't even want $1 million business. Hey, guess what? I didn't either. I don't even know if that was my original goal, honestly. I think maybe it was just supplemental. I mean, I think that's where it started. But one step in, one foot in front of the other, and then every goal that we hit. And then every new attorney that we got, the family celebrated. It allowed me to dream bigger and to realize that I was capable of more than what I'd given myself already. It's when your family is all bought in and you have that support and everyone's rooting for you, you lose the guilt associated with the, if I don't make this work. So when it becomes the family and it's the family's journey, you don't have to bear all the weight. You don't have to wear the crown and be the titan. You get to do it together. And you get to have, if you don't have young children, even older children, even better, create a culture where your family does it together. And gratitude will do more for you over expectations any day. Expectations are when we set a bar here and we don't hit it, we disappoint ourselves. Gratitude is removing the bar and just being grateful for however far we got. It doesn't really matter where the goalpost is. Gratitude is reflection and grateful for the things you accomplished. Expectations are living in the gap of the things that you didn't. Just be grateful. One case can be 10 hours, one case can be 100 hours, but make it a family business. Let it become your family's business. Win together. If I could give you any advice to take home and do today, I would say share your wins, 3 wins, start doing it at the dinner table. And when your spouse and your children get old enough, it's their turn. I remember the first day I said, all right, honey, your turn. He said, my turn. I said, your turn. What are 3 things? He's like, 3 wins? I said, 3 wins. Train your brain to think like that. We're so used to thinking in the gap. We don't look for the small things. My husband wins big now and he's like, I didn't have any laundry to do today. And I'm like, look at you, all caught up. I created it's called Make It a Family Business Starter Checklist. If you guys are interested, I'll drop that doc in the chat for you and you guys can keep it printed out. It's just a simple checklist, like telling your spouse or your family why this matters to you so they can have buy-in, they can see your vision. Don't explain the business, explain the outcome. The more time, the more peace, the more control, the trips that you get to do together, the things that we all get to have, the new truck that daddy really wants. Be honest about what support you might need and ask how you can support them too. Step 2 is to designate a focus zone. So choose a time and a space where you do LNC work. This creates visual cues and it lets the whole family know that when you're on and in business, that's where you are. That's where you work. And then when you're off and not doing business, you're with the family. Step 3, make them a part of the process. Celebrate your small wins out loud. Saying, like I said, I just got a response from an attorney. Let the kids help you in your space, shred paper, put the stickers on something that you're mailing out or something like that. Share what's working in the most basic language. And again, for me, it was, mommy's got 4 calls this week. This is exciting. Or we just hit our goal. We wanted 5 cases this month. It stopped being Stephanie wanted, but we wanted 5 cases and we got 5 cases. And I'd be like, I remember my son when he finally understood where I was like, mommy got a new client. And he was like, really? Mom, that's amazing. And I was like, oh my God, my little 3-year-old thinks this is amazing. Set one realistic goal this week. So pick one step to move forward with, finish a final report draft, watch a module, reach out to an attorney, but put it on your family calendar and make a zone your family zone, like our refrigerator is. So our children get to cut out pictures and put it up there because everyone gets to see what everyone's working for. So when we hit 5 cases or 10 cases or 20 cases, now we all get to talk about the things that we want. You win together, you celebrate together.